it is estimated that by 2026, about 10.5 trillion will be the cost of either mitigating or the cost of losses for cyber crime globally. Now, when we started our career, earlier in the career, cybersecurity was an IT issue. So most organizations who don't have IT were not bothered with cybersecurity, or most organizations who had low level of IT were not bothered with cybersecurity. But now cybersecurity is no longer an IT issue. Cybersecurity is a strategic issue. Cybersecurity is a strategic issue. Cybersecurity has even gone beyond a strategic business issue to a national issue, because now we find state-sponsored hacking, we find state-sponsored, we find state-sponsored cyber warfare. Warfare has gone beyond soldiers boots on ground with their weapons and tanks invading other countries. We find the use of drones, where a country can sit in their command center at their capital and they can launch drones. They can launch missiles without leaving the shores of their country into countries that are millions of miles, thousands of miles away. This is done with technology, and cybersecurity has become a national issue. Also, it's become a personal issue. It's gone beyond business and national. It's become a personal issue because, of course, we found cases where either through phishing or whatever means, people are beginning to lose their personal funds, money that they worked hard for in this economy. It's a business issue. For businesses to survive, we must take cybersecurity serious. For countries to survive, for countries to thrive, cybersecurity is now a national strategic issue. And also for us to live our lives, cybersecurity has become an issue, because at the barest minimum, you don't want someone to take over your WhatsApp account. You find even people who are not cyber aware are beginning to understand that they need to implement things as low as 2FA on their WhatsApp account to ensure that it is not being hijacked by malicious entities and used for their nefarious activity. So cybersecurity is becoming a very, very important aspect of our lives. Now, there is a global cybersecurity talent. There are a lot of openings. If you go on LinkedIn and go globally, you'll see a lot of jobs, a lot of openings. Some of these jobs openings have been around for close to 6 months. They've been around for close to 9 months, where there is a requirement for skilled cybersecurity professionals, both in private business, in governments, and in NGOs. You can name it, because most businesses are online now. For you to have a successful, thriving business, you need to employ technology. Technology is becoming a business enabler, because everybody wants to provide their services to their customers at the comfort of their houses. Gone are the days, I mean, earlier in the 90s, before you could get money, you had to walk into a bank. Before you could get food, you had to either cook yourself, or you had to go into a restaurant. But now we see that those things, the boundaries are becoming thinner. You can just pick up your phone, go to any of these apps, order your food. In fact, order raw foodstuffs and get them delivered to your house. You can. For the life of me, I can't remember when the last time I've gone into a bank branch to do anything, any form of transaction. Is always on my phone, the banking apps. So with this convenience comes a lot of threats, cyber threats. And with these cyber threats, because for every threat, there's always an opportunity. If you're looking at the SWOT analysis. So with these threats, there's a lot of opportunities for us as cybersecurity professionals, either as aspiring or as established professionals, to provide adequate security for the infrastructure. And again, in Africa, is becoming very, very interesting. The digital transformation is accelerating. We find that even currently as we speak, most of the European companies, American companies are providing remote cybersecurity jobs for citizens and residents of African countries and Asian countries as well. So digital transformation of businesses has provided a lot of opportunities of jobs for us as cybersecurity professional. And I don't want us to see it as just an opportunity to get a job. It's an opportunity to shape the global cybersecurity future, because we are becoming as important as soldiers. We are becoming as important as military people. So we are now involved in keeping the world safe. We are involved in shaping the world's future. And of course, there is a lot of opportunity, because again, different technologies are different technologies are being introduced and developed every day. And for every technology that is being developed, there is a need to secure such technologies. There is a need to secure such technologies. So there are global focus on cloud security. Gone are the days. I know Dotun will agree with me. When we began our career, then for every organization that is going to have technology, you need to build your data center. You build your data center, you buy your servers, you provide the heating, you provide the cooling, you provide the ventilation, you provide the fire extinguisher, you provide the networking, you provide staff. For each of these functions I mentioned, there were trained professionals that provided skills to maintain. So, and the cost of owning data centers was very huge. That was why you find that it was majorly banks and telecommunication organizations that could invest in technology. But now, with the advent of cloud security, there is every organization. If I decide to sell food today online, I can have online presence. I don't need to have a data center. I don't need to have a network engineer. I don't need to even have a cloud developer. All these, sorry, an application developer. All these can be outsourced. The advent of cloud security, AWS, Azure, GCP, cloud security has made adoption of technology for businesses very easy. One of them that comes closest to all of us is, at least all of us, you have an email account. That is an example of a cloud service. Somebody, Gmail, Google, they've hosted millions of servers somewhere in the world. They provide security assurance around those servers, and we can now open email accounts. So for those email accounts, you send mail, your mail is delivered. You can respond to mails. You can do calls, Google Meet calls, and the rest of them. It's because some people have provided these services. We just use the word cloud because really we don't care where the data center is. We don't care wherever that is hosted. You just want to go on your browser, type the URL, and the service in seconds or split seconds is available. So these cloud services, the providers, they need security assurance around those infrastructure. They need to ensure that the different frameworks of security that they are subscribed to, either access controls that speak to access controls, business continuity, disaster recovery, vulnerability management, pen testing, they need professionals that can provide assurance around the cloud security itself. It's a very, very big opportunity, because in between cloud security, you can find the need for about 20 professionals, 20 different professionals that will provide bespoke services. Then also there are opportunities around security operation centers. So same way the soldiers, if you watch all these war movies, you see that there's always a command room, a control center where they are getting information, they are actively monitoring the theater of operations, and they are giving instructions. Same thing for security. We have operation centers where the tools we use for security monitoring, tools that monitors the databases, the networks, the applications, the APIs, whatever it is are implemented, we aggregate those tools into a center where we can do active monitoring. And of course, it's people that man these operation rooms. And for SOC operations, that's security operation centers, the good security operation centers run 24/7 because the malicious entities work 24/7. So we find people working shifts in SOC operation center. Also, there's a need for forensics because something will go bad at a point in time, something will go wrong. And when things go wrong, we need to get evidences to be able to detect what happened, when did it happen, how did it happen, and how can we make things better? How can we ensure that this doesn't happen again? But the conundrum we find ourselves in forensic is that there are specialized skills in getting those evidences. So we need skilled people who know the heart and the science of gathering evidences for cyber breaches, collecting those evidences, presenting those evidences, and also preserving those evidences because most of the times those evidences might be needed in the law court. There's something we call chain of custody to ensure that the chain of custody is intact and the evidences gathered can be acceptable in the law court. So there's a need for cyber forensic experts. Then also, everybody speaks about AI nowadays. AI has taken over the whole space. AI, a combination of security and privacy. There is requirement for AI security experts because AI is even growing faster than AI security and AI governance. So there are numerous opportunities out there for cybersecurity professionals. And again, looking at the African focus, we find a lot of fintechs in the African space, especially Nigeria. There is a need. Nigeria is a booming place for financial technology. And of course, this technology needs people to provide security assurance. Also, government protection. We see that the government, although slowly, but the government is beginning to implement a lot of technology, consolidation of name and the other databases uh, years before, even for things like driver's license and international passport, we could not apply online. But then we see that most of the government services, we are beginning to be able to apply online. For government jobs, we are beginning to apply online. So again, it's beginning to show us that the government is moving into technology, government is moving into cloud services. These happenings will need or these developments will need security professional to provide reasonable assurance of security. Then, of course, infrastructure resilience, either cloud, physical data center, forensic, AI, whatever it is that we're building in technology is residing on an infrastructure. And the idea is that we need to build resilient infrastructure because something will go wrong at a point in time. There's no perfect system. Something will go wrong. When things go wrong, how do we ensure that we'll bounce back almost immediately to a minimum acceptable level of service? That is where the idea of infrastructure resilience comes in. And of course, it's cybersecurity professionals that will provide this assurance of resilience. Now, AI, everybody speaks about AI. AI both helps in cybersecurity. It helps us in cybersecurity to mitigate threats, and also AI provides assurance. Sorry, cybersecurity provides assurance over AI. AI helps us predict attack faster. There are a lot of tools now that do machine learning, uh, and they have wonderful algorithms that help detect patterns that humans may miss. Also, a lot of automation is being used uh, in security assurance that helps to handle routine works. And of course, this has made new roles. So we are now having roles. About 10 years ago, there was nothing like AI security engineer. If there were, there were not mainstream things. We now begin to have roles like threat intelligence analyst, security automation specialist. Again, blooming blooming sector is the AI, is the IT, OT, SCADA, because we're beginning to find automate a lot of automated systems. For example, if you go to um, highly automated industrial highly automated industrial settings. For example, water plants, electricity companies, energy companies. You find that a lot of automation is going on. Most of the manual processes are now becoming automated, and we now find devices that are beginning to communicate with each other and run processes. There is a need for securing these those devices. Now, this is just a snapshot of the emerging career path by 2026. Please, this is just a short list for conversation purposes. Because if we are going to list all the emerging career paths, I think, and have conversations elaborately around them, I think this session will not be enough. We might have to probably break for lunch, come back, break for dinner, and come back. Yeah, so emerging career paths by 2026. We have cybersecurity data analyst. We live in a data driven economy, and organizations thrive on data. However, there is a need for people that can provide assurance around data to ensure the confidentiality of the data, to ensure the integrity of the data, that the data is not tampered with, that the data is always in its pristine state every time, the confidentiality to ensure that data is available to only those who have the need to see the data, and also the availability of the data to ensure that the data is available as at when it is needed. Because most times having pure data is not enough. If data is not available when it needs to be available, especially for highly automated system, there can be a breakdown in processing, and that can cost organization loads of money. It can cause organization lots of losses. Also, we've spoken about AI security engineer, people who can secure intelligent systems and machine learning models. Also, there's a growing need for cloud security architects. So around cloud security, there's a need for those who can architect a secure cloud environment. Same thing like the buildings we have. Of course, nobody just go to the site and just start putting blocks, or no wise person. It's possible for people to do that, but no wise person goes to site in a building site and start digging the ground and building blocks. I ask him, what are you trying to build? I'm trying to build a house. What kind of house are you building? Are you building a bungalow? Are you building a duplex? Are you building an IRS building? Are you building a skyscraper? So there's a need for cloud security architects based on business requirement to be able to scope out, just the way an architect will build a plan for either a bungalow or whatever kind of building we want to build. It's going to scope out the security architecture of the cloud environment or the cloud infrastructure that the business is about to adopt. Then, very importantly, there's a need for security awareness specialists. One wonderful thing about or one intriguing thing about cybersecurity is that no matter the fancy tools we put, no matter the restrictions we put, these tools will be managed by human beings, and these processes will be run by a human being. An uneducated practitioner is the most dangerous part of cybersecurity, is the weakest link, because you could put you could have a very good monitoring system, let's say let's say physical security. You have the best CCTV cameras with infrared, motion detector, and everything. But then, if the system detects an intruder and is blaring an alarm, and the person manning the system does not know what to do with that alarm, so it's as good as not having any security implementation. That is why awareness is very, very important. People who man cybersecurity tools, people who run cybersecurity process, need to be aware of their role in the grander scheme of things. And also, apart from cybersecurity, people within the organization who run normal business operations, They need to be aware of cybersecurity requirements for their job, because again, cybersecurity within an organization is not just the role of the cybersecurity team. Cybersecurity covers the whole of the organization, because it takes just someone to open a door and everything goes bad. So, for example, things like phishing awareness. Someone sends, let's say, an admin staff or receptionist an email, and there's a malicious link. How can that receptionist detect that this is a suspicious link, or how can they spot suspicious link? And when they spot it, what do they do? How do they report? So we need a lot of specialists who can communicate and train people, especially people who are not within the cybersecurity team, on awareness, cybersecurity awareness. And of course, we have governance, risk, and compliance professionals. We have people, because again, cybersecurity is a top down. It runs top down within the organization. It starts with governance at the top. Those at the top needs to provide support. They need to provide the policies and the roadmap in which other operators within the cybersecurity space can implement cybersecurity strategy. So they need to come up with a strategy. So we need professionals that are skilled in cybersecurity governance. We need a lot of risk management. Cybersecurity is a risk-based function. We need a lot of people who are skilled in risk assessment and risk treatment. Then also compliance. So globally, depending on the sector the business is running, even government sectors now, we are beginning to have compliance frameworks that are mandatory for them to comply with. A good example, when Dr. was speaking about PCI DSS. Yeah, PCI DSS is a compliance framework globally that is compulsory for any organization that is collecting, storing, processing um, credit or debit card information. Also, we have ISO 27001 information security management system. We have the 22301, the business continuity management system. There are a lot of compliance frameworks. In Nigeria, we have the NDPR, the data protection regulation. For banking, we have specific guidelines on security. For telecoms industries, there are specific guidelines. And in some countries, for government organizations, there are national compliance framework that government entities need to comply with. Of course, we need professionals that will guide the organization in achieving these compliance goals and also maintain the compliance goals, because it is not sufficient for you to just be compliant. It's not a one-stop event. It's a continuous event, because there are a lot of processes and procedures that need to be run to ensure that the company is compliant. Because again, compliance is not the goal. Security is the goal, but compliance leads to security. A compliant organization might not be necessarily secure, but a secure organization will be compliant. Also, we need incident responder. Like I said earlier, things will go bad. There is no so when we started our career in information security, the idea then was to stop attacks, to ensure that the organization is not breached. And then when an organization is breached, it's the point is that, oh, the cybersecurity team or the information security team don't know what they are doing. But now we found out that for every organization to be breached, either internally or externally, is a matter of time. So the focus has now moved from uh, from only preventing breaches. Of course, yes, we do a lot of breach preventions, we do a lot of incidents prevention, but then the focus has moved mostly to incidents response, business continuity, and disaster recovery. When things go wrong, they will go wrong at a point. How do we bounce back? How do we detect incidents? How do we respond to incidents? How do we recover from incidents? So we need people who are skilled in incident response, who are skilled in collecting incident data, and people who have the set skill to plan for business continuity and disaster recovery. So, I mean, these are just a list of 6. There are a lot more. Trust me, there are a lot more. Now, for every cybersecurity professional, again, I'd like to add this part. there is the need for technical skills, and I guess that's why we are here. Sardonyx Education provides a lot of trainings, a lot of support for technical education, but then there's a need for soft skills, because what the technical skills does is that it opens doors, then soft skills keeps the door open. There's a need for us as cybersecurity professionals to communicate clearly. We need to have the skill to translate complex cybersecurity issues into business language. Of course, the cybersecurity environment is a very high octane area, is a very high pressure area. So we need to have personal skills to stay calm under pressure, crisis management, composure, clear thinking on your feet in the midst of crisis. Because when crisis happen, the whole organization turns to the cybersecurity team to provide solution. So we need to be able to work under pressure with clear thinking and composure. Also, there's a need for strategic thinking. We need to understand that cybersecurity is a business enabler. Cybersecurity is not just security people with guard dogs. It's a strategic, so it's a strategic function. So cybersecurity is helping businesses operate securely. Cybersecurity is not stifling innovation. Cybersecurity is not stopping business from moving faster. Think about it this way. Imagine you have a car. You're in a car, and the car has got only accelerators. Only accelerators. It's got no brakes. That car is doomed for. It's just a matter of time. The car is going to crash. Again, imagine you have a car that's got no accelerator, it's got only brakes. That car is useless because it's never going to get anywhere. So bringing that into business, the business operations, they are the accelerator. They want to move fast. They want to innovate. They want to meet customer needs as quickly as possible. Cybersecurity is the brake. The brake is not stopping the accelerator from working, but the brake is for caution. In case when there's a danger, probably there's an hazard, someone just cross your path unexpectedly. That's why the brake is there. Or you have gotten to your destination. You need to securely stop the car. That is what the brake. So again, what I'm saying is that cybersecurity is enabling the business to operate securely at even at the speed they want to move. Then also we need to build trust and respect with the IT team and also other teams within the organization. Also, there's a need as we move on in our career. There's a need for personal branding. There's a need for networking. A good thing is you need to optimize your LinkedIn profile. It's a very good marketplace for professionals. You can share your learning journey. Nobody, like we shared last week, for those of us who were on the call last week, nobody is too naive to teach, because the way the world is, some people have gone ahead of you. Some people are on the same level you are, and some people are behind you. So regardless of wherever you find yourself, regardless of your years of experience, there are some people you can coach, there are some people you can mentor, and there are also a lot of people you can learn from. Join security communities, mentorship program like the one we are in. Build visibility. Regardless of your experience, let people see you, let people know you are here. We're not saying, we're not encouraging bragging and claiming to know things you don't know. That is lack of integrity. But then, whatever it is you know, put it out there. There are people that need your skill and they are willing to pay for it, regardless of the level of exposure or experience you have. Now, there are some career myths within cybersecurity. When most people think of cybersecurity, they think of hacking, like what we see in the video. That for you to be in cybersecurity, you must be an hacker. Some people think also that for you to start cybersecurity, you need to have expert coding skills. Remember what we watch in movies when someone is in cybersecurity, someone is an hacker, then you see him with his laptop typing away on lines of code and trying to break into things. Then also certification guarantee jobs. So I will just quickly explain this. So ethical hacking is a subset of cybersecurity. and important as well. But then you don't necessarily have to be an hacker for you to start. There are numerous fields within cybersecurity that you can major in and make a good career in cybersecurity. Yes, for coding, you don't necessarily have to know how to code, but you need to understand application security. You need to understand those languages and how they work. Probably not to the advanced level, but because again, the idea is you can't secure what you don't know. Imagine they bring in a security guard into a security, a physical security protection outfit to secure a building, and the company does not ask for the blueprint of the building. They don't know where the doors are, they don't know where the windows are, they don't know the height of the fence, they don't know where the cameras are. Of course, we know that they can't provide adequate security. So again, for IT technologies, including coding, you need to have an idea of how applications work. You need to have an idea of how databases work. You need to have an idea of how networking works, because the truth is you can't protect what you don't know. But then you don't necessarily have to have the advanced skills, but then you should be able to know them because you are providing assurance over that. Then certification, um, there is a myth that certification guarantees job. I'm not discouraging anybody in getting certification because I've got a few of them and they've really opened doors for me in career. They've really opened doors for me in my career, and I will encourage everybody to get a lot of cybersecurity education as we can get, either certifications, either free knowledge on YouTube, on the internet, wherever we can get that. But then we should understand that these certifications provide knowledge and skills that are applicable in the workplace. And when you get to the workplace, you will find that the skills we've learned where the reality in the job place is quite different. We had a very elaborate conversation about that last week on the call. But then, please, certifications will open doors, like will get you to an interview. But when you get to the interview, your skills and your experience will now be brought to bear. But of course, for those of us starting out, if you don't have a lot of experience yet, if it is financially, if you have the financial strength, please get as much certifications as you can get. But when you are getting the certification again, the caveat is most people just get certifications because they need certifications, either because some of our friends are getting the certifications, or they go on LinkedIn, they see someone getting the certification. You need to have a strategic reason for getting the certification. And the most important thing about this certification is getting the knowledge. Please do not rely on past questions, on dumps to get certification. Yes, you can use past questions to prepare. You can use question banks to prepare, but then understand what the certification is about and get the knowledge that the certification requires you to have, because it is very embarrassing. We see this on interview panels. I've been available on a couple of few where someone says he's got a certification and basic questions around the certification is asked and the person does not even have an idea. What that tells the interviewer is that this person is either a fraud, because there are cases where there are a lot of fraudulent activities around gaining this certification, or the person just used question banks, crammed those questions and attempted the certification exam and passed it. The bottom line is getting those certifications, understand that we need to get the relevant knowledge that comes with the certification. The reality, you need to have curiosity and problem solving skills. They matter most. Communication beats everything. Communication beats everything. You can have the best skill. If you're a bad communicator, you are like an aircraft that is overloaded. It's never going to fly. Then persistence, no matter your level, keep at it. Even for those of us who spend some years within cybersecurity, we're not yet perfect. It's persistence that has brought us this far, and it's persistence that is taking us further. Be persistent. Things will never go the way you plan. there will be a lot of lows in your career, but you soon find out that the lows are the best things that happen to you. You learn more from the low. So start where you are, use what you have. If you don't have money for certifications, you have internet. There are loads of knowledge that you cannot exhaust on YouTube alone. On YouTube alone, you can learn a lot about cybersecurity at the beginner level. Avoid ignoring soft skills. Build your communication skills, build your emotional intelligence skills. Don't wait until you feel ready, or don't try to learn everything at once. Pace yourself. Consistency beats intensity. Of course, the uh, the expert today was once a rookie. Usain Bolt, that's got a lot of medals, Olympic medals for athletics. He didn't become Usain Bolt one day. In fact, when he was born, he could not walk like every baby. He had to learn how to crawl. He had to learn how to walk before he could run, before he became a world champion. So everybody on this call, we expect to see you at the top. Cybersecurity leadership awaits, but we need to start where we need to start wherever we are. So again, at the top, there are a lot of positions available for Chief Information Security Officer, those that set the vision and strategy for organizational security, cyber risk managers and strategies, of course, security consultants, and there are cyber solutions entrepreneurs. There are a lot of people developing a lot of skill, a lot of tools, a lot of processes that they are selling to organization, and they are making a lot of financial gain from it. So again, at the entry level, there are a lot of opportunity, and I can see at the top, there's a lot of opportunity. But then we need to build out our skill set from the ground up. That is the way it works. Now, uh, this is just a summary of what we've spoken. Build strong foundation. Master core technical skills. Understand, you can't be a good cybersecurity person if you don't understand networking, you don't understand databases, you don't understand applications, you don't understand how the cloud works, you don't understand the basis of artificial intelligence. Now, when you have that, we can choose a niche of specialization. Either you want to go to cloud security, application security, database security, AI engineering, forensic, or you want to be a governance, risk, and compliance person. Then stay current, stay current, stay current on this career. You are going to learn every day. You are going to learn every day as long as you remain in the career. Then, very importantly, connect with mentors. You can't do that alone. You know, this career, the best thing that can happen to you is to stand on shoulders on giants. You cannot reinvent the wheel. With my years of experience, I still have mentors. I still seek out mentors. I still ask questions. I still need people to lead me, because the truth is, nobody's got it all figured out. Nobody knows everything. Nobody's an island to himself. Then, very important, give back. Teach others as you grow. Lead. As we've said in closing, every expert was once a beginner, but mentorship is the bridge. Again, cybersecurity is a very good opportunity for us to shape the future of Africa and the future of the world. The world needs defender like all of us on this call. So, on that note, thank you very much for your time, and I hope we've learned one or two things from this presentation. Thank you very much.
Well, well, thank you so much, sir. Please, can we appreciate Mr. Akinniyi? Clap emoji. I don't know about you, but I've actually learned a lot. Please, can we just appreciate him? I want to see our reactions. I want to see our emojis. For those of us that are on the call, thank you so much, sir. That was a very um it was a lot. It was a lot to learn. Thank you, sir. Um, because I mean, we just have to move on and go into all the other aspects of the webinar. Thank you so much, sir, for that presentation. It was good. Thank you, sir. Okay, so I'll just quickly, well, I don't want to do a recap. I was taking notes as we were talking, but just few things. Just few things. The fact that technical skills we open the doors for you. You said that, and I took note of it. But soft skills we keep the door open. And then you talked about how uneducated practitioner can be the weakest link in a cybersecurity organization or in a company, basically. So this speaks to continuous growth, continuous learning. And the last thing you said about still seeking mentors, still learning, um, it's quite for me, right? So we'll quickly move to the Q&A session. I know some of you might have been taking note of your questions, so this is the time to ask them. So if you have a question, based on what Mr. Akinniyi has been presenting, so just quickly raise your hand, and I'll just give you the access to speak. So if you have a question, just let me know, raise your hand, and you'll be able to speak, or you can drop your question in the comment section anyway. That works also. But if you have a question you want to ask Kennedy directly, you can raise your hand. All right, so I'm seeing some comments. Let me look at that. Okay. But does anyone want to speak? Does anyone want to raise their hand and speak? You can just do that. All right, so we have a question here, sir, from Olumide. She says, can you shed more light on the cybersecurity skills shortage and recruitment bureaucracy? And then she just sent in another one. Could remote platforms that recruit cybersecurity professional? Okay, maybe I think she's trying to ask for remote platforms that recruit cybersecurity professionals in the UK, Europe, or US. So, yes, sir.
Okay, yeah. Olumide, thank you very much for your questions. Can you shed more light on the cybersecurity skill shortage and recruitment bureaucracy? Yeah, so to be honest and candid, there are a lot of shortage. Currently in the organization I work, there are a lot of positions that we're looking to fill. But then there are specific skill sets that are required for these positions. So what I would say is that recruitment bureaucracy, what I would say to you is make yourself so good that you cannot be ignored.
Yeah.
Make yourself so good that you cannot be ignored. And that comes in the place of continuous learning. Because the truth is, if a bureaucratic organization doesn't want you, there are other organizations that want you. And I'm saying to you here, to everybody listening, that if you are skilled either in communication or technically, there is no way you can be totally ignored. You will get something. And most times, all you need to do is to have a foot in the door. With that, you begin to grow and you begin to blossom. Don't think situationally. Don't think situationally. Think globally. Some jurisdictions have bureaucracy around the way they recruit, but that should not be a blocker. That should not be a reason for you to throw your towels in or to hang up your hands in the air and say, because there's a lot of bureaucracy, I can't. Just keep getting better at it. The opportunities will come. If you ask Dotun and some other people on this call, the first, some of us, it took a long time for us to get even the first job. And even the first set of jobs we got were really low paying. In fact, I started out with the first job I got in cybersecurity was not being paid, was like a volunteering role. So again, as you are building yourself, if it's possible for you to do volunteering and internship, you can go for that. But trust me, as you keep going, opportunities will come. Now, could you remote platforms that recruit cybersecurity? There are loads of them. And one thing I would advise you, which I do, connect on LinkedIn, be active on LinkedIn is a very good opportunity. A lot of recruiters live on LinkedIn daily. Be active on LinkedIn is a very good opportunity. How can we find mentors on this field? So there are a lot of people who are open to mentorship. The way to do it, I can advise is you can go, for example, you can go on LinkedIn. You could find someone or you could find people who whose career path interests you, who you are interested in the kind of thing they do. You can send a polite short email to them introducing yourself and asking for their guidance or their mentorship. Now we need to understand that most of these people are extremely busy people. They've got a lot on their plate. So for mentorship, it's best to go with specific questions because for most times, because people are busy, if they perceive you as a time waster, people have other value for their time. Then again, if you speak to people on LinkedIn, you don't want to bug them, you don't want to stalk them. Some might be interested, some might not. But then I think LinkedIn is a good place to start. Also, there are security forums. There are security forums. You can join professional organizations, ISACA, EC Council, ISC Square. There are loads of them, and therein you can find your niche, or you can find someone who will be willing to hold your hand through your career or to help you and answer the specific questions you have. And please, let's ensure that again, our questions is not based on soliciting for funds. People don't usually like that. The question needs to be specific. I think once people see that you are serious, most people want to take on serious mentees.
Thank you
Yeah.
very much, sir. Okay, so I think we have someone that wants to speak. Warit. So Warit, please can you unmute and ask your question?
Okay, thank you very
Warit.
much, Samuel.
All
Can you
right.
hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Toluwani, for the presentation. First, I'd like to make a comment, which I'll now follow up with the question. So just so that in your experience, you kind of shed more light on what you have seen. So my comment is that, I think when we see in the cybersecurity markets locally. By locally, I mean in Nigeria today, when recruiters put out adverts for cybersecurity roles. I mean, somebody made a joke a few days ago about recruiters wanting an entire cybersecurity department rather than just one particular role. And what that means is in the description, you will see something like you want a threat analyst, someone that has you also have scripting skills, ability to configure networks, identity and access management professional. The list is very long and all of that. Meanwhile, on the other hand, in the more say in UK and I mean outside Nigeria, for instance, you would see very tailored adverts that are saying, "Oh, we want an IAM administrator," for instance, right? For somebody that has worked in the Nigerian technology space or cybersecurity space, we see a lot of adverts in these other places, and you're like, this is me, or oh, this is piece of it, because in our own job market, you get to do a whole lot of things. So I would like you to shed more light, I mean, in your experience, because I know on this call there are senior, there are cybersecurity leaders, departmental heads, as well as the younger folks who are coming in. The burnout that comes with our cybersecurity rule, especially locally for us in Nigeria, right? And probably a way to advise recruiters as well to be more practical and considerate, right, in their recruitment, options. I was on an interview recently, and I mean, it was supposed to be a quick chat. And the session ended up lasting for about an hour. My assessment of that session was because, so I had people asking different questions from different things. So you're getting questions from risk management, somebody's asking you about threat intelligence, someone's asking about security operations. My assessment was they're just trying to get a feel of, oh, how well rounded you are. Now, this all these things, somebody might know them or be able to respond to them or even have the experience. But then this is an entire department. And so this person gets into the role and ends up being burned out or somehow there's an incident, something is missed, and there's now the blame of, oh, you were not doing your job or you're supposed to be looking and you missed something. So I just want you to, I mean, your experience, having worked in Nigeria and abroad, right? Kind of give us a sense of what you think can be done better. Thank you.
Yeah, Wari, thank you very much for your question. And your question is germane. Yeah, so we find, so again, for most organizations, um, the recruitment strategy is not clear on what they want. Most times, there's a problem within the organization. The the operations team, the team that needs to recruit, for example, if they're recruiting for a risk management analyst, there's a bridge of communications of the requirements between the risk management team and the HR team. And also at the interview panel, a lot of things goes on. But then what you need to do as a professional is what you need to do as a professional is number one, every organization has a strategy. In your career, what's your strategy? Where are you going to? What do you want to specialize in? But knowing what you want to specialize in doesn't mean that you won't get knowledge around every part. I mean, it will be at the entry or at the mid level. It will be funny for the interviewers to expect you to have advanced knowledge. But outside your job role, there will be expectations of you having at least um, theoretical knowledge of other functions within the organization. Now, when you are going for an interview, please, you need to do a lot of digging around about the organization. You need to, as much as possible, if you can understand the organization structure, the business the organization does, and how the organization has implemented technology. Because the way the organization has implemented technology now determines the way we provide security for the organization. I agree with you. We see some very, very funny job adverts where clearly from the job adverts you don't understand what they're trying to recruit for. But then again, there are two aspects to this. You need to think situationally and you need to think globally. If you are going for an interview and you've seen the description, you need to prepare yourself in line with the description. And please be honest. For the ones you have, so if they ask you something in the interview and all you know is theory or you have an idea about it, be honest to say, okay, I'm good at XYZ, but for this question you're asking, this is what I know. However, I'm open to learning. Or if you look at my CV, there's evidence of continuous learning and progression in my career. Again, that can set you apart from other candidates because nobody expects anybody you are bringing, even at the experience level, there's a time of learning within the organization. Then when you get on the job, working in Nigeria, I've had those experiences. Most times you are being thrown into the deep end. Things that were not stated in your job description will be added to your job function. Take it that you're on the learning phase. There was a time in my career that because of added job responsibility that was not in my job description, I was given extra roles and responsibility. At that point in time, I needed to invest a lot. In fact, that was part of the reasons I came to Sardonyx technology because I didn't have any experience about pen testing, but there was an opportunity for pen testing within the organization. which was open. I took that on myself. I came to Sardonyx Education. I got the skills and exposure to do that. And thankfully, I was able to conduct that. So again, when you are being given extra responsibility, don't see it as a burden. See it as an opportunity to grow. Opportunities do not always come in foil papers, in wrapping papers with ribbons on them. Most times, opportunities for you to grow in your career, they come as problems, as challenges. Please don't let's run away from challenges. If they bring it, learn how to do it. That knowledge sticks with you, and you take that knowledge elsewhere. I've had that severally in my career, even in my current employment. I have there. All those challenges will come. Let everybody know you as someone who takes on challenges. Yes, you might not succeed in taking on all those challenges. Some of them you will fail woefully at them. It's part of the learning. Move on from that. Some of them you succeed, but for both the ones that you failed at and the one you succeeded at, it's a learning opportunity, an opportunity for you to grow, ultimately making you a well-rounded professional. I hope that has answered your question.
Yes, yes. Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Warit. And by the way, just to state, Warit is one of our alumni, finished with us in 2022. It's good to have you on the call, Warit. Thank you very much. Thank you so much, sir. I think I'm just going to call one more person. We're actually way past time. I'm so sorry, sir. I'm just going to call Olumide. He's been raising his hands, so take the question from him. Over to you, Olumide.
All right, so good morning, everyone. Good morning, sir, Mr. Toluwani. And I first of all, I want to say thank you very much for the talk. I really learned a lot. So let me quickly go to my question straight up. I have a particular problem with, let me say, I've experienced both local situations and international situations. I'm a GRC professional. I am more into compliance. So yeah, when I apply to jobs here in Nigeria, when I see jobs in Nigeria, they are often asking for expensive certification. For an entry role, how do you expect me to get these expensive certifications that I cannot even attain at that point and all that? I have problem with that. And also to the other international field, I've applied even on LinkedIn. I get recruiters coming from different countries. The recent one is a recruiter from Malta asking me if I was in Malta, and when I told him sorry, I'm in Nigeria, I like, oh sorry, we are not applying, we are not accepting applications from your geographical location. Please, how do we navigate? My question is, how do we navigate all these difficult terrains by recruiters outside the country not wanting to apply from Nigeria and Nigerian recruiters asking for crazy and expensive certifications for entry role jobs? Please, I'm in between those two, and I would like some enlightenment, sir. Thank you very much once again.
Okay, thank you very much. Very valid question, or very valid questions. So I'll take the first one, expensive certifications. Yeah, I understand the fact that these certifications are becoming more expensive by the day because the naira is not doing very well in the global economic markets. So if you can afford to set X amount of your annual income aside for professional development, I used to do that. I still do that even from entry level because there's a lot of sacrifices that will be made. I'll give you an example. Um, when I got my first job, they gave us housing allowance at the end of our probation period. Thankfully, I was living with my parents then, and most of us within that my set were living with our parents. Most people bought a car. Most of my colleagues, in fact, the amount they paid us was the exact amount to get if there was a particular Honda all my peers were buying at that point in time. A lot of them bought cars. I'm not saying it's wrong to get cars. Please, you can spend your money whichever way you like. It's your money, you worked for it. But then I was lucky to have a mentor who took me to a training organization and chose, because then I was naive as well. I was planning to get a car too. Took me to a training outfit. He chose the certifications for me and he told me to pay immediately. And I paid 90% of that housing allowance. And doing those certifications in the space of 20 months, I was able to get a job that gave me about 300% increase in my salary. So there will be a lot of sacrifice around this. There are some things you might legitimately need now. There is something called delayed gratification. I've experienced that a lot in my career. And I know Dotun personally as well. We have these conversations very frequently. There's a lot of delayed gratification. If you can't get those certifications immediately, can you have a roadmap of getting them? Either saving annually if you can or saving monthly. Then, if it's not possible, you need to. There are open courses for this certification. For example, if they're requiring CISSP, for example, and you can't afford CISSP, if you go to YouTube, all the modules on CISSP, there are trainings for them. So even if you get to the interview and you don't have CISSP on paper or you don't have vCISO on paper, but you can demonstrate deep knowledge of the requirement. Because again, let's understand that certification provides knowledge. That is what it does. The important thing is the knowledge, and you can demonstrate the knowledge. I think you have some considerations. Then also about playing in the international market, getting jobs, jurisdiction-based jobs. The only thing is to keep trying. The fact that you've been rejected in one or two places doesn't mean that the world doesn't need you. I can tell you categorically for a fact, there is somebody somewhere that is willing to pay for your level of skill. But how do you find out if you don't try? You keep trying. Someday, sometime, you'll find that person. But remember, we lose 100% of the chances we don't take. Job hunting is a job by itself. It's just that nobody pays you for it. Your career growth and progression is your personal business. Take it very importantly. If you're interested in working outside of the country, set a goal for yourself. I have a senior colleague who finally got a job from Nigeria. He was documenting the amount of applications he made. He made over 650 applications before he got one. So what I'm saying to you is, don't give up. Keep at it. If a company doesn't want you, doesn't mean that doesn't mean you are useless. Someday, somehow, you'll find your feet. You'll find the person that is willing to pay for your level of skill and expertise. I hope that answers your question, Olumide.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Really appreciate it.
Wow, thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. Just one final question, and I think it's a yes or no question. It was Fatima asking on the group chat whether you are taking in mentees at the moment, and that's the question.
Okay, so we're working on a plan with Dr. and I are working on a plan, and I know there's a grander plan within Sardonyx Education for mentorship. So we're trying to build a process around that. And of course, yes, so when that is finalized, it will be communicated. But again, for the mentorship, I'd like to say that if you're going to get a mentor, you need to be specific. First, you need to know where you are going. What the person can do is to help you get there faster. So, and to get there faster. So, be specific, respect your mentor's time and boundaries. That is the way you can get significant value from mentorship.
Yeah, thank you so much, sir. Fatima, so I think Fatima, maybe you're one of our essential students. So just keep an eye on your email and keep an eye on our social media, right? We make a lot of announcements regarding the internship. I'm still going to speak more about it just in a bit. The other question we have, Mohammed you're asking about how to get started, someone asking about how to get started, just get in touch with us, right? I think Mr. Toluwani has really spoken extensively about that. So we don't want to take more of his time. Thank you so much, sir, for granting us access and just doing this with us. It means a lot to us. With the whole team here at Sardonyx Education. And I'll just call on Mr. Dotun again. He did the introduction to just give some final remarks so that we can let you exit the call. We're so sorry for taking much time than we requested. Yeah, Mr. Dotun, sir.
We're very grateful to Toluwani Akinniyi for joining us on today's call. He was also with us last week. So meaning that he has done 2 sessions with us back to back. And trust me, developing the slides, coming up with content, and doing the presentation is not something that comes that easy. Probably some people have been able to hack the process, but it's not really that easy. So I am very grateful, and the entire Sardonyx team, we are very grateful, and everyone on this call, we are really, really very grateful for being here today. Let me also mention again, and let me also brag, that he is an illustrious alumni of Sardonyx. Oh yes, he's an illustrious alumni. He has done multiple trainings with us, not just one, did multiple training with us. He also did multiple certification exams with us.
Yeah.
And is among that generation of alumni that has also remained in touch, and we have also remained in touch. So what am I trying to say? We can all grow together. Meaning that the fact that you've done one training does not mean you should not stay in touch. By the time you do the first, you can do the second, you can do the third. And in addition to him, I'm also sure that he's also going to help us facilitate some other experts in the cybersecurity field that will also be coming on some of our webinars every now and then. That is in addition to him. But like he also mentioned, he is one of our mentors at the Sardonyx Technology Internship Program. And this will give all our trainees and interns access to him, but we are still working on the structure and process. Now, somebody will now say, isn't that going to be too many people? Like I said, that entire generation that Sardonyx developed and trained, we are working to bring all of them back so that the burden will not be too much, because the burden will not be too much on one person. One of the reasons why I am not among the, I've not included myself yet among the mentorship is so that somebody will not think I'm trying to sell them an exam. Because if I come and say, hey, please come and do the certification exam, they'll be like, no, it's because I don't need to make money.
Yeah.
So I want to make sure that I avoid conflict of interest. And trust me, all our alumni, if, for example, during the time when I encourage a good number of them to write exams, if the exams and the certification exam amounted to nothing, they will be here today to tell you, don't write exams.
Mm-hmm.
That's the fact. They're going to tell you that exams is useless, exam does not make sense, certification does not add value, or they will tell you that some of the trainings we did were of no importance or significance or value. But for a lot of those that are going to function as our mentees and as our guide and as our instructors in the context of them bringing the perspective of global cybersecurity view, a lot of them have reached the peak of their career. And the peak of the career in cybersecurity is certified Chief Information Security Officer. That's CISO. That's Chief Information Security Officer. A lot of them have reached that peak and they can give a lot of advice. Now, this advice they are giving, if you are to meet them, if you have to meet some of them, it's consulting service that you have to pay for. I know some people currently on Twitter that because of how far they've gone in business, you have to pay them like $100 for 1 hour. For those who are familiar with some of those people on Twitter, yes. So I'm trying to say that some of what Toluwani Akinniyi has done for us today, if you are to meet some other people, they will bill you for this same thing.
Yeah.
And the mentorship opportunity that the platform is going to provide is also because They have gone through Sardonyx. They saw the value Sardonyx has provided and offered. And they also know that as a means of giving back to the society, giving back to the community, giving back to the school, giving back to the institution, they are willing to do it and they are not billing us for it. But at the same time, we don't want to take advantage of this opportunity and we don't want to belabor them. And like Toluwani Akinniyi has already said on his presentation, please know what you want, go straight to the point. If you don't know what you want, be open about it. I don't know what I want. Can you give me an overview? Among so many other things. Somewhere in between, I will also come in as a mentor. But like I said, I'm being very careful before somebody will think I'm trying to sell them a course. So you're going to do CEH. Then after you are done, come back to me. I want to make sure that if any such recommendation will come, it will come from our illustrious alumni that, look, we came for CEH, we came for CHFI, we came for this, we came for that. And if Sardonyx is offering it, you can do well to stay with them. If they're not offering it, I can recommend this, or they also can recommend places where you can write certification exam, be on the lookout, and so many other things. So I am very grateful, and we are very grateful. Thank you very much, Toluwani Akinniyi. And like I said, we're going to see more of him. So for those that would love to see more of him, both in the context of a general webinar session like this and in the context of personal mentorship operation, please stay tuned. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. Please, can we give a round of applause for Mr. Toluwani? Just appreciate him, show your reaction. Thank you so much. Drop a comment, a nice word for him in the comments. Thank you so much, sir. We're really grateful for your joining us. Please, can we mute our mic also? Please, can you mute your mic? Don't know who that is. Okay, thank you. All right, thank you so much, everyone. Mr. Toluwani has said a lot of things, and as I said earlier, I hope you're actually taking notes. Even if you're not a cybersecurity professional, this is your first encounter with a cybersecurity program, so to speak. I believe this session has really been helpful for you, whatever career path you are currently in. And if you are someone that you're looking to transition into cybersecurity, this session is also a very good one. You want to go over it again. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this session, edit it properly and upload it on our YouTube page, for your access, for your learning. One thing, let me just mention this. When Mr. Toluwani said it, I said I was going to talk about it. We brought a guest in, also our alumni, a couple of weeks back, Mr. Obiora. Some of you on the call here may be familiar with that session, and he spoke extensively, just like Mr. Toluwani had done today. And one of the things he mentioned was that he started his career through dedication and just passion. And he started his career being a bank, I think a clerk, a teller at a bank, and then he moved on to coming to Sardonyx, getting certifications, writing exams, and then just advancing the ladder. And then you can see the similarity in what Mr. Toluwani said again today, that when he started, he volunteered, he was not being paid, and then he also moved the ladder. So he said something, consistency always beats, there's a way he said it, I need to get it accurately. Consistency always beats intensity. So that's one thing. If you are not going with anything, you should go leave this meeting with that. Consistency always beats intensity. So the fact that you are here today and you've attended the session, that's not the end. Make the next step. What is the next step? Do you want to learn? Do you want to get a certification? Get in touch with us. Now, we have a couple of things to say about Sardonyx Education and what we do here. So if you just permit me, I think I should be done in like 5 minutes. I'm just going to run through my slide. I have a slide actually. So I'm going to run through that in like 5 minutes or less. So we can all be off the call. Today is a Saturday and I know a lot of us have plans for our day. All right. So please confirm you can see my screen. Can you see my screen? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir, we can see your screen.
All right, thank you so much. All right, so Sardonyx, I mentioned earlier on the call that we're all about cybersecurity and helping you advancing your career in cybersecurity. And we do this through trainings, we do this through certification offerings and so on and so forth. We are partners with, I mentioned some of this company earlier. We are partners with the companies you're seeing on your screen, vCISO, PCB, CompTIA, Microsoft. And that means that we have access to all their trainings, all their exams, and you are getting in touch with us. So we know that there are a lot of companies out there claiming to teach cybersecurity. We don't like talking about what other people are doing, but what we do is that we give you the real deal directly from these partners, right?
We have to leave the call now
Please, can
because
we mute our mic? Glory, please, can you mute the mic of that person?
Thank you very much.
so we'll talk later. Yeah, please. We'll talk later.
All right, please, let's mute our mic. Thank you. All right, so our delivery mode varies. If you're someone, you are very busy, you prefer a model that is flexible, maybe online and hybrid altogether, we have that available. And then we have a physical center also at Lagos. Currently, we have offices at Lagos. We're looking to open branches in other part of the country and also outside the country too, right? So currently our office in Lagos is at Alagomeji, Yaba, for those of you that are familiar with the location. If you visit our website, you'll see the direction for that. We'll get to that part later on. So our trainings varies. So if you're coming in, you're looking at penetration testing, you're looking at network defense, whatever skill you're looking to learn in cybersecurity, as even if you don't know, just as Mr. Adedotun said earlier, even if you don't know, what path you're looking to take, but you just know that cybersecurity is the career path for you, just get in touch with us. We have a robust team of experts, that can, just ask you questions and we'll be able to properly guide you about the career paths that works best for you. And then I know for some of us also, we're already into cybersecurity, like Warit that spoke earlier, and Olumide that asked the question to also seem like a cybersecurity professional. So, and you're looking to advance, your career through certifications. Now, Mr. Toluwani has said that you could just put aside some money because some of these certifications are quite expensive. But there are times where some of these people also offer discounts, they offer promotions, and because we are partners, we are privy to this information, right? For instance, I think I can mention to you now that ISA Council will be having their discount later this month. That's the Black Friday and the Cyber Monday discounts, on their certifications, so you can get in touch with us and then we can get you these vouchers and exam. And also, of course, because you are doing this with us, there are other perks, that you get to, gain too. I won't go into details with that. All right. And then career support. So Mr. Toluwani said something about an uneducated cybersecurity professional. And there are a lot of people that say, okay, I can learn this thing on YouTube. Good, you can see some relevant information on YouTube, but are they concise? Are they properly streamlined to help you actually do the job? And so one of the things we do in Sardonyx Education is beyond the classroom training, where we actually communicate the core and industry relevant information to you. We also have internship programs. Mr. Dotun mentioned that earlier. We have internship programs for instance, let me just give the example. If you are learning CH with us, you have a 6-month internship, and some of you on the call here are some of our interns. If you are an intern on the call, can you drop a message on the chat? Just say I'm an intern, I'm here, and I'm listening, because we invited you guys to, right? So we have internship programs, and it's built in such a way that you can actually work, like there is hands-on practice, practically work out the things you've learned in class, basically, right? So and during that phase, soft skill training, there's soft skill training, there is mentorship. So it's a robust system, so that beyond the classroom, okay, I finished learning now, I have my certification, you can actually, be boast, be proud to sit at an interview and respond articulately to questions and citing practical examples, not just classroom informations, right? And then, of course, Mr. Dotun said this earlier also, we have a robust alumni network, which, of course, when you're done with us, you also get onboarded on this platform, right? So one of the programs that we are currently ongoing is our certified ethical hacking program. We know the year is coming to an end and everybody is planning for 2026, but part of your plan for 2026 and even before the end of the year, I don't think you should wait till January before you begin to plan, especially when it has to do with your career. If you're on this call, you're looking to transition to cybersecurity, you can start with certified ethical hacking, right? The class is currently ongoing. You can join in, right? You can join in. You see the detailed information at the end of this presentation on how to connect and, contact, or some of you already have our contact. You can just send a message, right? And be part of that class. Okay. YCH, I don't think I need to spend so much time on this. Mr. Toluwani already spoke about some of these things, but you're new and you're willing to maybe penetration testing is your forte, is what you think you'll be able to thrive adequately in, then get in touch for CH. And then one other thing I'll speak about is our essential programs. I don't know who is excited, but I'm very excited about this. If you're also an graduate, a cybersecurity essential graduate by Sardonyx, can you also drop a message on the comments? So we had this program let me say a couple of months back, and it was a huge success. We have people register. So this is, you are new entirely to cybersecurity. You don't even know anything. You don't know the first thing about cybersecurity, and you want to really grow a career in the field. Sardonyx Cybersecurity Essential Program is where you can also start. So we just start from the basics, just come to learn the basics, and then from there we can take it further, right? And the good thing, or the good news, is that this is entirely free. So we're having another cohort starting in January, right? Some of us on the call, we should be getting email information about that subsequently. We're going to be unveiling this next week. So if you're not following us on our page, you want to do that immediately, right? So that you can actually register and be part of this program. And also, for those that are already into cybersecurity and are on the call, we have our internship program also starting, in January, and then internship starts with the essential. So you want to also get in. So I think what you can just do is go on our page on Instagram, follow us, and then all the details you can get, or just leave a message to us at the end of this meeting. So there are career opportunities. Satoluwani already spoke about some of this already. Career track that you can follow in cybersecurity. And for those that want to maybe like, okay, I want to speak with you guys. How can I reach you guys? Or what's your email address? That's the information currently on the screen. So if you are not on the call, if you're on the call, but you are not on your screen, you can quickly come, and copy this information. You can reach out to any of us, Glory or Sam, any of this phone number. On Instagram, our name is Sardonyx Education. On Twitter, we are Sardonyx Edu. On LinkedIn, we are Sardonyx Education, and on Facebook also. And this is our website, www.sardonyx.education. All right. So thank you so much for your time. And okay, thank you so much for your time. I don't know if anybody has a question or any other thing to say before we call it a day. Any question from any one of us? Any question? All right. I'll take that as a no. Okay. Rashid in. Let me try to get this question. Rashid is asking a question. Glory, please, can you help me read out the question? having some.
All right, sir. Can everybody hear me? So Rashid is asking is, give me just a second. Where is his question?
Okay, good.
Please,
Go
for
ahead. Send the
everybody,
question. Thank
please
you.
follow our Instagram account. I have shared the link. I have shared the link in the chat. Follow our Instagram account. We put a lot of information about the Essentials program. So Rashid said, please, how can someone who is willing to flourish in this career help a soul? I am new in it all.
Okay, Rashid. I don't know if you joined the call from the start. I don't know if you joined the call from the start, but Mr. Toluwani has shared a lot of details and information that you can use. One thing I'll tell you is that if you are new and you want to really grow, you know what, just get in touch with us. You know, I don't know whether you've taken any certifications or any training before now. If this is something you really want to do, get in touch, guide you. And again, I said earlier that we're going to edit this session properly and also upload it on our YouTube. So you want to also ensure you're following our YouTube platform so that you can also go back to some of the things Mr. Toluwani has also shared here, right? Okay, so people are asking questions relating to the session, but I mean, Mr. Toluwani is done with the session. Queen, you're asking what cybersecurity role we phase out, and okay, I don't know. I think I don't know if Mr. Bato can just quickly help us respond to that question. I'm tempted to say, don't worry, we'll get back to you, but if Mr. Bato is still on the call. All right, so Queen is asking what cybersecurity role we phase out, maybe in a couple of years to come.
That's an interesting question because I don't see cybersecurity phasing out anytime soon. I don't see any role phasing out anytime soon. And that is because no matter what AI does, there will still be human interpretation to whatever AI is processing or doing. Let me also say this, that even I'm managing an infrastructure where there's both AI and machine learning operational. There are things AI and machine learning has learned, and they will do by default, and then notify the administrator for what, in the context of what they have done, so that the administrator can make an informed judgment as to whether it is consistent with what's supposed to be. Then there's also the thing where the AI does not even know what to do. That is the person managing the infrastructure or the team managing infrastructure that will take the necessary action that AI will learn from. And now AI will now include it in its playbook so that going forward, AI will not will learn to do that going forward. So for now, I don't see AI taking over any responsibility that from cybersecurity, in the context of cybersecurity. The only thing that may happen progressively, that as AI learns progressively, AI will then be able to make more informed decisions that cybersecurity professionals will vet and verify as accurate. I don't know if I answered the question as Quinn would have wanted it.
Okay, Queen, I hope that answers your question. Thank you so much, sir. I don't want that question to go unanswered. Thank you, sir. And so someone asked on the comments if the internship program is free and all. Yes, the internship program is free. But there are some requirements. There are some requirements that has to be met before you are, admitted in, right? So what you can do is just follow us, follow Sardonyx Education, and do one better. Also follow Sardonyx Technologies, because that's like say parent company anchoring the internship program. So you want to follow both of our accounts on Instagram so that you can actually get detailed information when we unveil the internship registration. I think the registration to start next week. So please reach out, and the phone number I displayed earlier, you can also reach out to us, through phone call, WhatsApp messages, to make further confirmations. All right. one last check at the comments. There are no comments. Queen, you said your question is fair. Okay, the answer is fair. Okay, well, I think the core of what Mr. Dotun has said is that in the foreseeable future, there may be new roles that are opening. I don't think there are any roles that will be fading out anytime soon, because the fear is usually with AI, and then it made the reference for AI. So if you still need further clarification, please do well to get in touch with us. Thank you so much.
It is estimated that by 2026, about 10.5 trillion will be the cost of either mitigating or the cost of losses for cyber crime globally.